Obviously, we can get Suman as a guest tonight. I saw that text like an hour before we started. I was like, oh, it's too late.
I thought about it. I should have brought it up way sooner.
That's all right.
It's all right. I might be one of the worst, everybody's like millennials, Gen Z or whatever. They're all just stuck to their phone. Dude, I could go 12 hours without looking at my phone.
Yeah.
I just leave it somewhere in the house. And then I feel bad. Somebody texts me like before lunchtime and I just now saw it.
Yeah. If I'm head down working, I will miss so much stuff. And then I'll get to it, like I'll get all caught up in a wave.
Yeah. And then you'll end up like sending like the same text message to a bunch of different people.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people get mad.
I know. Speaking of texting, I was texting with Keith Johnson earlier, and I said, "Oh, you should come on and we should catch up." And he's like, "Oh yeah, anytime, let me know." So,
all right,
yeah, maybe we'll have him on.
I know he didn't go to Workbench, but
yeah, no, I thought about doing like a last minute, like, "Hey, you want to come on right now, like in 45 minutes?" But
Keith's got nothing else to do.
Yeah, true. I guess he doesn't have kids or anything, so
no.
Sometimes he's in the chat.
I know.
True.
I know. Well, should we get this bad boy rolling?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
I want to put my face in that grass.
Or you're trying to make eye contact with a person.
Maybe you're looking at it from the wrong angle.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to Off the Cut episode 154.
Woo, that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, getting up there.
And we actually did all of those episodes. We didn't just fake it. We didn't just start at episode 100.
We actually started at episode 0.
It's true. There is 155 episodes.
Yeah.
Crazy. Plus all the last episode? Wasn't there like one where
Plus the last
Zach
episode. That's a Patreon bonus episode, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true. For Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. How's my volume? Am I coming in hot? Is that?
No, sounds good to me.
Sounds fine.
Good to me.
I was adjusting some settings while I was recording a voiceover today. Speaking of voiceovers, we're now doing a voiceover for kmtools.com.
Ooh, baby. That was a smooth segue.
Yeah, that was smooth, huh?
That's what Jonathan pays the big bucks for.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't heard about KM Tools, well, sorry, you probably haven't listened to our podcast before.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's your first time. Well, KM Tools is the mecca, the pinnacle, the bee's knees of woodworking and woodworking adjacent supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Also for woodworkers, by woodworkers.
It's in their shop. It's in their shop.
Yeah. So the cool thing is Jonathan and his team develops all their own tools along with the content creators or they thoroughly test everything to make sure that it's not just hot garbage. Plus, a portion of all their sales go directly towards the Katz Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund, which gets tools and resources into the hands of folks who need it most.
Heck yeah.
And
best thing they do.
What is it, Zach?
They give a $50 gift card to one of our patrons every single month.
And since tonight is the first episode of the month, it's time to give away Jonathan's money.
Gift card. We should have a little theme song we play when we, giving away Jonathan's money.
Come on, guys. Come on.
Oh,
that's right.
All right, we need it one more time.
Yeah, let's hit it again, please.
Word to your mother.
I never heard the word to your mother.
I know. That's a nice little stuck that in there.
Yeah. That's so good. Huge shout out to Nick Daniel who made that for us. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, Deric, this one's in your hands tonight.
Ooh.
I got the Patreon giveaway list pick generator. It's an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
How many times do you want me to refresh it?
Oh, let's go with 7. 3 and 4, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth person, they don't win. Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey.
Didn't he get it last
Corey.
time?
No, Josh at Sawdust Builds got it last time.
I believe Corey has taken away a gift card before, though.
He has about 8 months ago.
Okay.
Number 6, not the winner. Ron Rutherford, Willow Creek Woodshop. Sorry, Ron.
Double R. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. And number 7, the big winner, $50 gift card to catsmosestools.com. Oh, Josh at Sawdust Build won 2 months in a row.
Oh, how much is he paying you, Eric?
Okay.
He's bribing you.
Nuts. Okay. Well, Josh, I'll get you reconnected again with Jonathan, Mark, and this team, and right down right now. That's nuts.
It's those top tier patrons that get those extra draws.
I know.
Josh, you might be net positive on your Patreon subscription now.
Maybe.
But hell yeah, bro. Okay, I gotta write it on my notes too. Giveaway tonight. Josh Sawdust Builds. I bet Jonathan's gonna reply back and be like, "You guys are rigging this thing, aren't you?"
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. So, any other? I don't think we have any additional housekeeping items. I mean, elephant in the room. Workbench Con was last week. Did you guys hear anything?
I talked a little bit to Scott about it. And
what did he say?
He said that it was very poor turnout. I think
that's a bummer.
He said there was approximately 200 people there, I think, compared to 500 in previous years.
Okay.
Interesting little tidbit that I did not know till the Friday, I think, is our agent, Mark and Brianna, were both there.
Yeah.
Which I had no idea that they were going. I just kind of messaged them one day about something. They're like, "Sorry, we just got off the plane. We're going to this thing." And I was like, "Are you going to Workbench?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to Workbench."
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they have did Mark say he had a booth?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I wasn't sure if it was like I'm going to meet and rub shoulders with my existing clients, or if it's I'm going to recruit and try to grow the business with more clients type of thing.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like that would be a good place for them to go.
Get some people early,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, and I think I said to him last year, you should go just because half of your client base goes. I mean, just for the simple fact of like making an in-person connection with people. It's
right.
Yeah. Doesn't quite compare when you're doing it virtually all the time.
Have you ever thought about how strange it is that in 2025, I mean, with my day job too, there are people that I communicate with every single day, have large professional relationships with them that I've never met.
Yep. Have you ever had where you've been talking to somebody via webcam, Zoom calls and all this stuff, and then you finally meet them in person after a year and you're like, "Oh, you're nothing like what I expected in real life"?
Yeah, well, like with my day job, I would say the amount of people that turn their camera on is probably 5 or 10%. So all I have is this like photo avatar, which I mean, come on. People put their best photo on something like that.
Professional one that you get done.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like the headshot. You go in for like your interview or whatever, they take your headshot.
I've seen a lot of people doing the like AI generated one where you give AI like a normal picture of you and then say like, "Hey, like generate a professional looking headshot of me."
I've seen those.
Yeah, they're a little uncanny valley kind of esque, but
you get an extra hand or an extra finger sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, like on like Gmail or whatever, when you send somebody a photo or an email, you get that like the teeniest little thumbnail. Dude, if you have an AI picture on that, no one would know.
Oh, true. Yeah, of course. I'm lucky. I have one professional headshot that my friend did for me. Well, I did like a series, but my friend's a photographer. He rented a studio for the day, and I was like helping him with something. And he was like, "Hey, you want me to do some portraits of you while you're here?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I have gotten so much mileage out of those.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, it's my YouTube profile picture. It's my profile picture on Instagram. It's on Facebook. It's literally like the thing I use for everything across the internet.
Yeah, it looks good. Is that the one with like the black background that you?
Yeah,
have?
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
yeah, I'm familiar with it. I sleep with that picture next to me.
Before we jump off the Workbench Con topic, I did hear that, and John touched on it here about them taking a break, that they aren't selling tickets for next year yet. They posted something or put up something and said we're going to take a break and reevaluate.
Oh boy,
So
that's not good.
Listen, I don't wish financial hardships on anyone, but all I will say is I'm not surprised.
I wish financial hardships on the companies that have aggrieved us in the past, like Air Canada.
That's true.
there you go.
Yeah. Rigid.
It's a very short list, but there is a list that I would
Yeah.
like financial hardships on.
Well, let me ask you. Let's say, Zach, Air Canada reached out to you and was like, "Hey, we want to do some work with you. Could you do it?"
Of course I could. Of course I would.
I knew
I
the
would take
answer.
great pleasure in accepting their money. I would
Does
even
the check clear?
I would even do the content and then potentially after the contract has expired,
Bash 'em.
mock them. Yeah. Go right back to bashing them.
Yeah. But see, I feel like Air Canada, I mean, you go fly out of Toronto, and like, what percentage of the flights are through Air Canada?
That's a good question. I don't actually know. In Toronto, you get a lot of international flights, so it might be less than you think. It might only be like 10%.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you're like, 80% of the flights going in and out of there are Air Canada, so you don't really have an option.
If you're flying domestically, it's probably close to like half the flights are Air Canada. But if you're going international, then you might be on Air France, you might be on Air England or whatever.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So have you had any good Air Canada experiences recently?
No.
Haven't flown since Workbench?
I flew with them once accidentally because I was booking a flight and it said it was Delta. But then when I got on the plane, it was Delta operated by Air Canada. And I was like, oh, they got me.
That's a scam.
Yeah.
That's a scam. I don't know. The
Are
whole
they owned by
plane.
the same company?
I don't know. I think they probably have some sort of strategic partnership or blah, 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 something like that.
You know what I
These
find
companies,
very
yeah.
weird in the airline industry is same with the hotel industry. Well, the hotel industry less. You'll have those people that are airline loyalists of like,
Oh,
I only fly United.
I think Jason Bent was this way. He was telling us last time at Workbench. He only flies. I think it was Delta actually.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So okay. So
Yeah.
there.
All right.
Tell us why. This isn't me giving you hell. Like, I don't
No.
fly a lot. So like, tell me why.
So we only fly American
Okay.
because you're going to find cheaper flights everywhere else fine. But it's negligible in that all the air miles that we accumulate, like we don't have to pay for the first check bag. We get like a little drink coupon every so often, or in-flight Wi-Fi credits, or little things that we use when we travel. Like we can go in like the Admiral's Lounge and stuff like that, and you only get those. You can only work up to those perks if you fly with the same airline enough.
Okay.
Or if you fly all the time, and then you could spread it out. But if you're not flying all the time, you kind of got to build all that together.
See, my thinking on this subject has always been, and I understand what you're saying, but my thinking is always that the price difference, like I will usually save enough by going with the cheapest carrier, whoever they are, and then I can like buy back those perks but I wonder if that's actually the case, because one check bag like that can be like $75 with some airlines, so it adds up pretty quick. Yeah, true.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
there's also like you just get the consistency. Like we know what to expect when we get on an airplane. It's more or less
'Cause
the
you're always
same
flying.
experience because we're always flying the same people. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And you end up in the same airports, and they travel to everywhere that we go, so it just works out
Yeah.
for us. It's a personal thing for sure.
Do you feel, what if you're like you're gonna go on a trip somewhere and American doesn't serve that destination? Are you like, damn it?
We
This
haven't found
sucks.
that yet.
Cancel the trip.
Okay, okay. You've never been gone like American's only a domestic carrier though, aren't they?
They are, but they have partner affiliates.
Oh,
So like
okay,
we can book
okay.
American flights to like Europe, and then
Okay.
they'll put it under somebody else. Like they also
Gotcha.
own I think Alaska Air and Hawaiian Air and a couple others that
Cool.
they operate as domestically, and then there's some international partnerships they have.
Huh. So like,
Anytime.
how often do you fly there?
We fly probably I'd say 2 to 4 times a year. We'll fly.
Okay. And then you got 4 tickets, right? So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I have a feeling as soon as Seth and I have kids, not gonna ever fly.
Not
Yeah.
for a while.
Just the idea of paying for another person, it's like, oh, that sucks. And you
Well, I
guys
mean,
too.
like you remember, like you'd go on vacation with your buddies or whatever, and you're like, $300 plane ticket, like whatever, like cool.
Yeah.
And now you go to book something, and you're like, oh man, it's gonna be at least $600. Because you gotta get 2 tickets, right?
Gotta get 2 tickets. Yeah, gotta get a hotel room. I mean, Derek, you have to get like the double bedroom or like the big rooms or 2 adjoining rooms.
We got to get 3 beds because
Mm-hmm.
my kids are 16 and 13, boy and girl. They don't share a
Yeah.
bed anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to get something with 3 beds, which that makes it hard because
Yeah.
Unless you find like a suite somewhere, which we found that like the extended stay places like that you go for like business travel where you go stay for a couple weeks.
Yeah, they got like
They
a kitchen.
typically
in there.
have they have a good setup where you can get like a second room with 2 beds in it, and then you got the couch that pulls out in the living room at the very least, and that works out pretty great. And they're not much more than like a standard hotel, so
Okay.
Yeah.
we typically look for those. We're an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just such a crappy setup, right?
Yeah,
It's like, and like, let's be honest, your son is always the one that gets screwed over and has to sleep on the pull out.
we alternate.
You
Oh,
make
you swap
them
them in.
alternate?
Yeah. We just
Oh, that's
we
nice, yeah.
remember who had it last, and then we just the next person they get it.
Yeah, 'cause
And
that'd be
they
a lot
don't
of
have any
bickering.
problem forgetting who had it last either.
Well,
I was
'cause
gonna say,
nobody
but there
wants
was-
to sleep on that.
Yeah.
Do you ever hit the old argument of no, I had, or you had it last time? No, I had it last time, or whatever, you know?
Yeah, sometimes we've had that, but usually one of us, me or my wife, will remember pretty clearly and straighten that out before
Alright.
it gets out of hand.
Oh, that's exhausting.
Those kids in their place.
You guys ever have like you go on vacation with like friends or family or whatever? There's always that one person that makes up, and for me, it's my sister.
Okay.
That makes up all of these just nonsensical arguments and reasonings why she gets the best room in the Airbnb or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
no.
You guys don't have any of those people with like folks you travel with or whatever?
No, usually whenever we travel with like other families or groups, it's whoever booked it
Yeah.
gets first dibs, and then whoever
Yes.
gets there next gets it. So it's like first come, first
Agreed.
serve.
That's the rule. If your credit
Yeah.
card is on file, you get to pick whatever
Yeah.
room or bed you want.
That's logical.
Right?
Yeah.
My sister will be like, and I don't get me wrong, I love my sister. I'm just giving her hell. But she'll be like, well, like my back hurts, so I need like the nicest room for my bed, or like I don't wake up on rooms that face the west because it'll like ruin my sleep, or like just like making all this stuff up. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She's like, well, I mean, like my birthday's the closest to this trip. Like where are these arguments coming from?
But do you let her get away with these arguments, or do you shut them down?
I mean, you'll push and push, and then Miranda and I are both the people we're like, I don't have the energy to argue with people.
Oh,
So
so
I'm
is it
just
one of
like,
these things
whatever.
where if she doesn't get her way, she just drowns the room in negative energy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I
And you'll
would've-
just hear her bitching about it the entire trip.
The battle's
Yeah.
not worth the war.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's the same with people that like, you have like a group of folks you like, where do you guys want to go out to dinner? And everybody's like, nah, I'll eat whatever. And then you have one person who is the pickiest SOB in the world. And all they want to do is dominate the restaurant choice. And you're like, I don't want to go there, but I also don't want to argue. So I guess we're
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah. I'm fine. Like, I will eat anywhere or anything. So if I'm ever traveling with somebody who has some weird dietary, they're like picky or whatever, it's like, fine, you pick. I literally don't care.
I can
I'm
find
on
something
vacation.
anywhere. As
Yeah.
long as I'm not being forced to eat at like a vegan restaurant all the time.
Sure, I will put my
I just-
foot down if somebody was
yeah.
like, hey, we're going to the vegan taqueria. I'd be like, no, we're not.
I can do
Oh,
it once, but I need
sure.
some red meat in there every so often.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like you said, Derek, like if somebody's like, oh, I need to go to like a specific, health place or whatever. Yeah, cool. That's whatever. But I'm not eating at one specific dietary restricted place the entire vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's like, I really want to go to a vegan restaurant for dinner tonight. Cool. I'm down. But like, probably not the next night.
Right.
You
I
know?
may
you
get a
guys-
hamburger on the way home.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had a satisfying meal at a vegan restaurant?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's typically, I think it was like what am I trying to say? It was like a stew soup kind of scenario
Mhm.
where it had like tons of different like root vegetables and like potatoes and like lentils in it. So like it was pretty hearty.
Okay.
And,
I've
like,
gone in with an
yeah.
open mind a few times to a few vegan restaurants, and I've never once found one where I walked away and I was like, that was a satisfying meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how do you feel about like cauliflower wings? Those are pretty tasty.
Yeah, I like cauliflower wings. Yeah.
But I don't
What?
want that as my whole meal.
That can't be, that's the thing. That can't be your main. That's like a side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snack.
Yeah. But well, anyway, Derek, I want to hear from you. What have you been up to, man? What have you been doing the last few weeks?
I had a pretty exciting weekend.
Mm.
I passed my first 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Ooh.
And
Hell
they don't
yeah,
do anything
brother.
for it, so I designed and printed my own 1,000 sub plaque.
Hell
Yeah. Congrats, man. That's a huge
Thank
deal.
you.
That's awesome.
So, how are you on your watch hours?
400. Like I'm
Okay.
nowhere near what I need to be, but I need to get to posting the long form stuff more is what it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that gets you the watch hours quicker.
But dude, that is a huge goal to get through. It
Yeah.
is a
My first one.
slog
Yeah.
yeah.
collecting the first 100 or so subscribers.
Yeah.
So congrats, man. That's a huge deal. I still remember.
Yeah, thanks.
You see that comma for the first time, and you're
That's
like,
right. It's my
"Hell
third
yeah."
comma. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, baby. You should release the print files for that plaque, because I feel
Oh,
like
yeah?
there's other creators who would also like to celebrate their 1,000.
Yeah, there's like I looked at them and there's a bunch on there, but there weren't any that I liked, and I designed my own. So maybe I'll put it up there for them.
Oh yeah. Hey, you should send one out to Joe, because he just recently crossed over 1,000 subs too.
Well, I didn't want to spoil it, but I did.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
That's awesome. See, this is fun though, because now you're gonna have like Joe, you and Joe basically hit 1,000 subs at the same time. So now you have this like community member where you can be like, how's their channel doing? How's mine? And like see who grows
Yeah,
faster.
true.
And, like that's a lot of fun, right? Like
Yeah.
True.
it's healthy competition. Like you guys are friends, so it's like it's not like, oh man, screw this person, but it's just kind of interesting to see how that goes. And like,
Mhm.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it definitely it breeds into the community aspect of all of it, and that's really what that's what it's all about. That's the best part of all of it. It's just building that community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you hit 1,000?
I think I woke up Monday and I had hit it. So sometime Sunday.
Nice.
I
Nice.
wasn't checking on Sunday, but I was at like 996 on Saturday. So
I remember what a tease.
yeah. So I was like, I'm not gonna look at it for a while, and then I looked at it on Monday and I had passed it. I think I'm at like 1,010 now or something like that, or
Nice.
1,009.
See,
Nice.
see,
Just
it keeps
trickling along.
going. Yeah, that's huge.
I-
So, what are you thinking? Like your next video is gonna be?
Well, I got one that's done. Well, I'd say 80% done. I just got to finish the edit on it, and then I can post it up. I just haven't had the bandwidth to focus on that. Like
Yeah.
editing just takes so long, and I was
Yep.
trucking along on it, and then this job thing came up with the city, and I switched my focus entirely to that, and I took my eye off the ball with the editing, and now coming back into it, it's like kind of got to remember everything. that you were
I
doing.
know.
It feels like the
Mhm.
longer I get away from the project, the harder it is to edit those videos after the fact.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me
So-
more about the city thing. This is like the display stands, right?
Yeah. I put that on hold whenever everything happened with my back, and
Right.
I've been this week. I finally went back out in the shop and started kind of working on it a little bit where I can, and just kind of working back up, doing a little bit more every day, and just trying not to push it too hard. And
Yeah.
it's been going pretty good. So I'm
Just
kind
kinda
of like at the halfway
Touch and
point
go on
that.
it.
Yeah. I just don't want to stress myself too much.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Better to take it
I
easy.
know at the end of it, I've got a fairly heavy lift when I got to pick up the whole thing, because it's essentially like one sheet of plywood that's been reformed into this thing with maybe 8 well, I'd say probably like 4 to 6 board feet of walnut or maple as trim and everything in that.
So it's probably
Yeah.
close to 100 pounds.
Yeah, it'll be a little heavy, yeah. And then I gotta load 4 of those up into my truck and transport them a couple blocks down the street.
Nice.
So have
That's what
you?
kids are for.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the kids are for sure. Have you like kept track of like how many like just out of curiosity kept track of how many hours you worked on this versus what you spent on it versus what they're paying you for it, and like seeing how you made out?
I did that in the beginning on like the first few projects, but it just was such a pain to go back in and log all that time, because I don't go out in the shop at the same time, so I could never.
Yeah.
It was a pain to go to, because I had to remember to do it at the end of the day, and I'm not good about that. So if it's not automated, I don't end up doing it. But yeah, so I don't. I just track how much it costs, and then I look at like how many days or weeks I spent on the project on
Fair.
average versus like the number of hours.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I'll end up looking at it, which I haven't been good at tracking that either.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a helpful metric to know, even if
sure.
it's not like, oh, I worked 8.16 hours, but you're like,
Yeah.
was it 8 hours? Was it 80? Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Even if you can
Yeah.
just go, it was about 40 hours at work.
Yeah, like whenever I quoted it, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to spend like 4 weeks out in the shop working on this thing.
Right.
And I've spent probably 2 to 3 weeks now out in the shop working on it altogether. And so it'll probably be another week. It'll actually probably end up being another 2 to 3 weeks out in the shop because I'm slowing down now. But like I said, I'm not tracking it very, very tightly. It's hard to go back and I think I need to work it into my routine, and I don't know how to do that. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Almost like a
It's hard to pick up the
stop-start
routine.
clock whenever you go out into the
Something
shop and you're like, oh, I worked today. I worked for 1 hour and 36 minutes, and then like
Mhm.
write that down or something. Yeah.
Well, like normally I have a Nest Cam out there, and it'll record for it'll have like 30 days of data on it or recordings on it or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I would go out and I would pull that up, and I would just look at like when I walked out and then click and note the
It's not a bad
time,
way to
and when
do it.
I left and then note the time, and then
Yeah.
use that to find my hours. But it's been so long since I started, I can't pull that up now.
Mm.
Now, is it something that you're like, let's say the city comes to you again and was like, hey, Deric, we want you to build this, or this. Are you like not interested? Or are you like, yeah, I would still take the city on as a client?
I would probably still take him on as a client. I would be a little more cautious about anything large, though.
Would you adjust your, like, say they came back and they said, hey, we want you to do the same project again. Like, we want twice as many.
Yeah, I would do it, but I would give them a longer timetable, and I'd probably raise the price a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have like made plans for it that are pretty exact, and I've been following along with those, and I'm confident that I could build another one exactly the same way, no problem.
Nice.
Did either of you guys ever run into the issue? Like, Zach, I know you don't do tons of commission stuff, nor do I. Did you ever run into the issue, either of you guys, where you would build something for somebody and then a couple months later, 6 months later, they come back to you and want you to build the same thing, or build their friend, or they're like, oh, you built Tim this thing. Like, can you build the same thing for me? And like, you're like, I know I didn't make any money on that, so I need to raise my prices, but like, I need to make up some like BS excuse. Did you guys ever run into that?
No, I've never run into it, but that seems like a very legitimate thing that could happen, especially when you're first starting out and you're kind of trying to figure out your pricing.
Right.
It's pretty common to underbid things, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
I base it all like I did some pull-out drawers in a kitchen for a friend, and I did them fairly cheap. Like it was cost plus a little bit extra, but it wasn't enough that like I would want to do them on the regular.
Right.
And whenever his mom called me up and was like, "Hey, we really like those drawers you did at his place. You mind coming over to ours and doing some of those too?" And I was like, "Sure." And then they had some other things they want me to look at. So I go over there and I measure for all the drawers and everything like that. And I quoted them out a price, and I increased it a little bit. And then whenever their friend that they referred reached out to me about a price quote again, then I increased it again a little bit. And the way I looked at it is the friends and family discount went to the first person, and then whoever they referred to me, I increased it a little bit. And so like the further it gets away from that friend and family, the more I'm gonna like increase that price on it as it goes down until I get to the point that I'm satisfied with it and it's the price I want it to be.
That's fair. But you never ran across the issue where it's just like, oh, well, you built it for your friend for $100. Why are you charging me more than $100?
No, I haven't had anybody question it. And I think it was because the projects were a good 6 months apart.
Okay.
And so there's kind of I think there's a little bit of an understanding that A, in the beginning I was figuring things out, and then B, price materials are going up all the time, because I think it was all over.
True.
It was just like 2021.
Yeah.
Lumber prices were going up every day, and it was kind of a thing that everybody was talking about that was having anything done. It was everybody knew about that.
I think as a general rule of thumb, if you are recommending a friend to another friend for work of any type, really, check with that person first and be like, hey, is it okay if I tell them how much you charged me to make this thing? Because like you never know if somebody's giving you the friends and family discount, or if that's like the true actual viable price to run a business at.
Yeah. And I think like you got to take into account your personal relationship with the person that you're being referred to or by or whatever. Like, do you know the contractor you're being referred to? Because if you don't, then you can't expect that same discount. Maybe a little bit, but not the same for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's also naive to think, as somebody providing services for other people, like, you really think that friends don't talk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely comparison notes. And then like, I mean, the whole reason why you referred them is because you got a great deal. So you're like, hey, I got this great deal on this thing. If you're wanting one, I'm sure they'll do the same for you.
Yeah. But that kind of puts you in a tough situation. Like, Zach, you never ran across that with like the contracting business where like you guys would do like a home for somebody and they refer you somebody else. And they're like, yeah, but you did their home for $75,000 less.
Generally, the work was different enough that that was never really an issue. Like a couple times, like here and there, especially with like repeat clients, like we'd have people who come back year after year, and they'd be like, "Well, you did our kitchen in 2006 for this much money, and now we want to do it in our new house for this. But how come it's so much more? It's like, well,
It's
they
20 years
usually have-
later.
yeah, the discussion, it's been a little while, like things have changed,
It's
cabinets
not
have
the
gotten more
square
expensive.
footage.
Yeah, different square footage and all these things.
Air
So
Canada tax,
yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah. Honestly, when I was doing like the home construction stuff, I'd actively avoid trying to work for friends because
Yeah.
we were lucky enough that we had enough business where we weren't really, we weren't trying to make a name for ourselves. We weren't trying to like get out there and get as much work as possible. And friends have expectations,
Yeah.
they want you to work a little bit cheaper, and it's like, well, if I'm going to spend 3 months on a project, I can't give you like a 25% discount because that just means that like,
It's 25% of what I'm getting.
you love your friends, but if your friend was like, "Hey, Eric, do me a favor and take a 25% pay cut for the next 3 months,"
Right. Yeah, I think it made a really good point that like if you work for friends or family or whatever, there's this like, hey, do me a favor, like cut me a good deal. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like relationally, I understand why you say that, but I think a lot of people don't take into consideration that asking a friend to perform a service at a significant discount is actually harmful to that friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't do it anymore. I don't do friends
Me
and
neither.
family discounts
Yeah.
anymore.
no.
Unless it's like a really interesting project that I feel like I could get content out of, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not going to be much of a discount.
Yeah.
I've done tons of work for free for friends. Like my friends, like, hey, I need, I don't know, like my friend was like, I need help bringing in what was it? It was a washing machine and a dryer
Sure.
and hooking them up. And it was like,
Yeah.
like I was over there for like an afternoon and I helped them with that. But I didn't charge them, it was just like,
It's a pizza
Right.
beer project.
yeah, beer project, buy
Yeah.
some pizza at the end of it or whatever. So
But if he's like, hey, I got this kitchen island, I need you, can you like whip together a butcher block?
Yeah.
Well, then they always say this real quick,
yeah,
right? But I
Yeah.
want it to look like this. It needs to be sand, it needs to be this color, it needs to be made out of this. And I need it by this weekend.
yes, hard maple.
Right.
Better not be any knots in it.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah.
I've pissed off a lot of not close friends, but like acquaintances, friends of friends.
Yeah.
By their like, I feel like I might have told you guys this story. I had this one friend that was like, "Hey, I have this like antique table that I would really like you to refinish," and I just said, "No, like I'm not doing that," and they were
Yeah.
pissed.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I had somebody asking me to refinish a table for them a few times. Like they kept coming back at it. I'm like, but it wasn't like a solid wood table. It was like an Ashley table, so it was just veneered.
Right.
Veneer,
And this,
yeah.
this was veneer too. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yeah.
not even touching that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
too
what I
high
said.
risk.
I was
Yeah,
like, for the
I
cost
think
for me to do that, you could just go buy a new table.
yes.
And that's what I
another-
said, and that's what pissed them off.
That's a hard conversation. People don't understand that. A lot of the time, like, somebody will come to you with like a pressboard IKEA thing. Like, hey, can you refinish this for me? Like, I'm going to charge you like $500 to sand this and apply a new thing to it. This thing will cost $200. And that'll melt their mind sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, well, why can't you do it? If the thing costs $200, you should be able to refinish it for like a quarter
they're
of
not
the
a
price of the
factory.
thing. And it's like, yeah, they have a factory with robots doing this shit,
Probably UV cured too.
and they do a million of them all at the same time so that there's economies of scale and all these various factors. So yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Speaking of refinishing, I after the move and whatnot, like your furniture gets banged up. It is, it is what it is. It's a dining table. It was finished with Rubio. So like, yeah, it's gonna take dings and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody touts how easy and simple it is to like refinish and whatnot. It absolutely was. Like I just put on some 150, like kind of, got the little scratches out, throw some new oil on there. Even so, it still took me over an hour to do that whole process.
Oh, of course.
But you know what I
would-
mean? Like, okay, so I'm going to charge you at least $75 to $100 to do that.
Yeah. Plus Rubio's not cheap. Plus,
Right.
you know, yeah.
So like,
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know.
that's like the easiest refinishing job in the world.
True.
And
I-
like you said, okay, $100 worth of labor plus, $50 or so worth of Rubio, plus you want to like make a little money on top of it. Okay, probably 200 or so bucks.
Yeah.
Well, this table is only a $200 table. Well, yeah, buy a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, anyways, Zach, what have you been up to? What have you been doing the last week or so? I saw you.
Oh.
You had a story of like on a TV set or something.
Oh yeah,
Marks
didn't I talk?
thing,
I thought I
yeah.
talked about that a little bit on the podcast. That's part of I'm doing this with a Canadian workwear retailer,
Yeah.
Marks. So that was kind of fun. They brought a bunch of like tradespeople from across Canada, got us all together, and like asked us some questions about what we think the future of the trades is, what's going to happen in the future when all these people retire and there's not enough millennials and Gen Zs to take their place.
Did you say,
So,
well, I
yeah.
don't really build anything. I just build tech stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I just play a contractor. Yeah, I honestly kind of do feel I have a little bit of imposter syndrome going on right now because I keep getting these jobs where they're like, we want you to be like, the contractor guy. I'm like, oh, that's not
You're like,
really what
I
I
used to do that.
Yeah. So I kind of stuck in this situation where sometimes it's a little like, I don't know. Imposter syndrome. Like I feel like a fake person being there. Like, and it was funny because I'm sitting at this table with people in the trades. I speak that same language because I did it for 20 years.
Right.
So I'm able to like have those conversations and stuff. So I don't think I should feel, but it's like, well, because I've kind of stepping back from the construction side of things to focus on the content side of things, you do kind of get that feeling a little bit.
Yeah.
But is it on the brand for reaching out to you and be like, this is the person that we want? And it's just like, well,
Yeah, I mean, no, it's
really do
to
your
some extent.
research.
Maybe they see the stuff I'm doing on YouTube and they don't care. They're just like, because I still do, I toss the occasional woodworking project in there.
Yeah. And
yeah, I don't know.
but it's
I
not
think-
like you're demoing, kitchens and homes and stuff like that on YouTube and social media.
Yes, definitely not. So it's a little bit of a different beast. But I've always kind of had this weird split, which I don't actually like, but I have like my Instagram is a little bit more construction oriented, whereas
Yeah.
my YouTube is like a little bit more tech and 3D
Yeah.
printing oriented.
I see
So
that.
yeah, I don't really know how to fix that because I feel like I'm now stuck in this. I don't know. I've defined two separate niches on two separate platforms. I don't know how to merge them together.
I get that. What is your Facebook thing? Is that
That's all. On that note, I have something else I want to talk about. That's all cut downs on my YouTube stuff. So that's all tech.
it's all tech? Because but some woodworking stuff.
Some woodworking, yeah. It's right in line with what my YouTube is.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But so besides the Mark's workwear thing, what have you been doing the last week or so? Just more editing, sponsor stuff.
More editing, more sponsor stuff, dude. I am so sick of doing sponsored Instagram content. It's me. I go to the shop. I read from a teleprompter because it all has to be said perfectly.
Right.
And then I come home and I edit it a million different ways. And then I go to sleep, and that's what my life has been for like the last 2 weeks now.
Dude, I get it.
Yeah. I'm not complaining. Financially, it's been very good for me, but I just want to get back to making YouTube videos.
Right. And like do something fun, creative, and like, ooh, I don't know. What about this?
Exactly.
What about this?
I want that challenge back. Now, mind you, I did I got to do some kind of like fun VFX shots with this ad that I was doing.
Ooh.
I did like a little bit of green screen. I did some like floating text. I did 2 different versions of green screen. One, like I rotoscoped myself out and like laid myself on top of it. So it was fun in that regard. I got to try out some new editing techniques, but I didn't actually get to build anything. So it's kind of a bummer.
So why did you choose to edit those and not have Bryson do them?
We both kind of worked on it. He just schedule wise, dude.
I
And
gotcha.
that's the other thing. I keep getting these sponsorships where they'll be like, so they gave me a finalized script on Friday, maybe Thursday night, and they wanted to finish content Monday morning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like it's such a tight turnaround.
So
It's
you
crazy.
have to edit that. Like, it's going to be
I-
real tough for you to get that at Bryson.
Exactly. Like I can't say, "Hey Bryson, drop your entire weekend plans and start editing."
Well, he probably would if you paid him the rush fee.
Yeah, true.
You know,
We
but
actually
then-
haven't worked out a system where, like, he's never asked me for a rush fee on anything.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, for certain things, I'd be open to it.
Yeah. So is
Yeah.
this coming to an end, or is it just like I still got a lot to go with these?
I think I still got a lot. I got 2 new jobs. I think today, 2 new sponsored Instagram pieces dropped on my plate today. So
Isn't this funny though? Because by and large, you're not actively posting like regular content on
Dude.
Instagram.
I know it's insane. I don't understand it. I think there's just a lot of it's Canadian. So I think there's just a limited pool to pick from in Canada. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
5
yeah.
or 10 construction guys. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
But I mean, good
Yeah.
for you. That's fantastic. Like,
yeah, look, I'm very happy for it.
keeps
I
bills
do.
getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. But
There's
it's,
something you said you else you wanted to talk about too.
yeah, I wanted to let you know I got my first check from Microsoft Start today.
Oh,
Did you really?
Yes. That's why I was texting with Keith. I was like, Keith, I got a check. Did you get a check?
Was it? I mean, you put zero effort into it.
Zero effort.
Any-
I can't even find my own page on
I don't think there's
Microsoft Start.
pages. I think it's just like it's all random, or
Yeah.
algorithm or whatever.
Yes, I think you're right.
Is it worth me asking you to send me their contact info and see if they want to work with me?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
Oh,
I mean, it was zero effort. Like, all I did was take a couple meetings with them, read a contract. Now, mind you, my first check for Microsoft Start was for a whole whopping $100.
Hey.
But I mean, first month on a new platform, it's like, yeah, it's actually not too bad.
And
So,
you did nothing.
I did nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'd be happy to set
Is
you up
this
with them.
through Influence Logic or something, or who?
No, this is another company outside
Okay.
that.
I thought it was one of those names I had heard before or whatever, but
You might have. We'll talk outside.
yeah,
we'll
that's
talk
cool.
after
That's
the
cool.
show. Yeah,
I gotcha. But so you can't even find your videos or your page or anything, so you don't even know like what
No.
they're doing with your content
No.
necessarily.
They could just have it could just be like AI generated slop of me. It could be like me breaking bottles over my own head, and I have no
they could
idea.
also be doing like one of those, what is it, the chive or whatever, when you go into restaurants and they've got just like videos on a loop. They could
Oh
just
my
be putting
God.
it all under one channel with like a bunch of other creators.
Yeah, true.
I hate those things, but I can't not watch them.
Yeah, they're
I know.
distracting.
I know.
It's just complete and utter brain dump garbage.
Absolutely.
Brain rot.
All right, it's awful.
They started
Yeah.
doing it in the dentist's office, the orthodontist that I take my son to for his braces. And I walked in there a couple months ago, and they had Jason Hibbs up doing one of
Oh,
his
really?
projects. And I thought that was
Oh, that's
interesting.
funny.
I was like, this doesn't seem like the target audience, but all right.
Yeah, why not?
That's you're just like, yeah, it's my buddy Jason.
It's probably somebody who works there just likes his content. Yeah, whatever. I'll throw him
It was
up.
one of those like because it had like a logo in the bottom for some channel.
Oh, I
One
see.
of those online channels
That's
guess he's,
weird.
like, sold off to or whatever.
But
Hopefully
I'm gonna be
Jason's
honest
getting
with
a
you.
check for that.
If
Yeah.
anyone reached out to me and asked, "Hey, can we license your content to use on our platform or whatever?" I'd be like, "Sure."
I once had like Lad Bible or one of those. Or the Chive or one of these other ones message me and ask to license content from me. And it was kind of weird how they structured it. They were like, we'll pay you either a flat fee of like, it wasn't much. It was, a couple $100 or something like that. or we'll pay you a sliding scale depending on how many views it gets.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if we post it and it gets 10 million views, then we'll give you like $1,000 or something. But if it only gets 2 views, then you only get a couple pennies.
Yeah, but see what they don't tell you is the percentage likelihood of you breaking even on the flat fee versus the percentage thing.
Yeah.
This was probably in like 2020 or 2021, like a long time ago. Had a company reach out similar that they wanted to license specific videos on this like platform where if other people wanted to use your content, that they would have to buy it off of this platform or something.
Interesting.
And at the time I was like, huh, this is a surefire money-making scheme.
Yeah.
Never made a penny.
So was it like a
penny off of it.
was it like stock video footage kind of?
Effectively.
Effective, yeah. Like somebody could like if they needed a picture of a guy cutting on a table saw, they
Yeah.
could use a little bit of your content or something.
Yeah. So
Have you heard anything about these? I've heard of there's companies out there right now that will pay you to use music in
I
your
have.
YouTube videos. Have any of these companies reached out to you or anything?
yes.
Okay. Did you
And
explore it at all?
it didn't really go anywhere.
Okay.
I got the feeling it was more of like a feeler email, and the fact that it was like, hey, do you think we can push this guy to use this in the video? And just like maybe he puts it in there and then like we don't really pay him. I kind of got that vibe from it. It didn't
I've
feel
heard-
very official.
I've heard some creators say that they've actually made decent money doing it. Though I don't know which service they were using, but it strikes me as potentially a little bit of a risk in that, like, so to prep people at home, the idea is that you use music from artists in your videos.
Mhm.
And then you're basically splitting the, I don't know, somehow is it the labels are paying? I don't know where the money comes from, I guess.
Yeah,
The idea is to somehow get the songs out there so that they're heard by more people and gain popularity.
I don't know how
and
it
then
works though.
basically they're then splitting that money with you.
Yeah, what it had been discussed with me was some sort of like flat fee on a video.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
it
So
wasn't
they
like a
give you a
rev
couple
share or
$100
anything.
and you use some of their music.
Something like that. But
Interesting.
yeah, it was definitely like a tire kicking kind of email. Like there was not a lot of legitimacy to it.
Yeah.
Was
But
the
then I
music
worry
any
about
good?
like
I
What
didn't even
happens-
listen to the music, to be honest with you. Didn't even get
what
there.
happens if like 2 years down the road this company's not around anymore and then
Mhm.
you get a copyright claim on
Right.
your video and you have this song because you can't like edit out a song.
That was my worry with it.
Yeah. I wonder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be really nice if YouTube let you add like layer tracks that
Yes.
way within the
Yeah.
studio, and then you could remove things. Like if you get copyrighted for music, you could just remove the
Yeah.
music.
You ever tried
good if you could
editing
just-
anything in YouTube though?
No,
It's
but I mean, if you could just
a
knock out
nightmare.
an entire track, I think that'd be easier than trying to edit it.
Yeah,
For
like
sure,
a
for sure.
multi-track upload.
Yeah,
You should be able to just upload like your Adobe Premiere or your Final Cut project file to YouTube. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always
But
thought it'd be
then-
neat if you could do an alternate audio track and then have like the audio track with you giving like your commentary, and then like
Mhm.
a shop sounds only audio track maybe, or an
Yeah.
alternate
Yeah.
audio track of you talking about something else, whatever.
We should work for YouTube. We got big ideas.
I know. See, I think the reason they wouldn't ever want you to put like your Final Cut or your Premiere like project file up on there is because let's say this video gets millions and millions of views, and now you go and edit it, and now instead of
Yes.
being a video all about how to make a wooden server for your computer, it's now all this political rant and
Yep.
crazy stuff, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
definitely
a
should.
very real risk.
Shouldn't be able to change it completely, but I think you should be able to at least change the audio track on it or something.
Yeah.
Wait, I found a workaround.
What's that?
Okay.
Okay.
You make this whole big political rant on a video. Then you have a hard cut to you building your woodworking project. You then list the video, chop off the political rant, and when it goes live, it's only the woodworking portion. Then, once this video gets millions of views, you cut out the woodworking portion and reflect the political rant.
That's pretty funny.
Did
Did
I
I tell you about
two
this?
different woodworking projects, and then if it's not doing good, you got the
Switch it to the other one. Oh, dude, that's not a bad idea.
So, did I tell you guys about this this creator I saw? So, he made a really long video. It was a video that was I don't know, let's say an hour long.
Sure.
And then he had it up for like 2 weeks, and he got it so his average watch duration was like 20 minutes or something, 30 minutes or something like that. And then he went into YouTube Studio and he chopped out the last 15 minutes of the video.
Oh.
So it looked in YouTube Studio like he had over 100% watch duration, average view duration.
And then did the video blow up?
And then the video blew up afterwards. He did this whole thing. So he did the video first, and then he did like another video analyzing it. And it was pretty interesting. There's a very, like, after he chopped off the back half of the video, there's a huge spike in the number of views, and then it flatlines out again.
Huh.
It was a pretty cool little hack. Because we've often talked, and I think he also did a video. Yeah, so he did another video that plays at 4x speed. So the only way to watch it and have it be listenable is to play it at 0.25%. And then again, you get the same thing where you have this average watch duration that's longer than the video itself. Which I know we've talked about before. Is it better to like watch your friend's video at 0.25x?
And the theory is that yes, it is.
Yeah. And well, no, his video confirmed that it is, in fact.
Huh.
I wonder if they changed anything for that. Like if they made adjustments based off of things like that.
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's like the same thing we talked about, like Instagram pods back in the day where you'd like everybody's thing. Like, you really think these platforms don't know? You might be ahead of the platform, but once you start hearing about this,
I think that's
the platform already knows about it.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, there's like an early mover advantage, right? Like if you can, if you're of the mind or you want to like game the system or something like that, if you hear about one of these things early, I wonder if it's even patched out now because it'd probably be a pretty significant rewrite on their part. Like he's making these videos as kind of like comedy almost.
Yeah.
Like here's how you can like game the YouTube system.
I actually heard. I kid you not. You guys remember the whole GameStop thing? Like they bought the stocks and drove it up and sold it, whatever. My parents were talking about that this weekend.
Ooh.
They were like, "Did you hear about this GameStop thing?" They're like, we might have to try to get in on this. And I was like, "Oh, guys, no, get off the internet, please." What, that was like 5 years ago?
It was like peak COVID, I think.
Like 3 or 4 probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You need to upgrade their internet speed because they are far behind.
No, I need to get them off the internet.
Off the internet, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All my mom does is she goes up to me and she goes, "This is code for I saw it on Facebook, by the way." They were showing me. That's code for I was on Facebook. Yeah. She's like, "They were showing me the craziest thing earlier today."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is it, Mom?" She's like, "They have goats that when you scare them, they fall over." And I was like, "Yeah, fainting goats been around for a long time."
It's like when I tell somebody. It's like when I tell somebody I read it in an article. I didn't read an article. I saw it in a YouTube video or listened to it in a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Ask. Whenever you go to share with somebody, like you want to tell them about like a short or whatever you saw on YouTube or Instagram,
or TikTok
how do you
video.
Refer to it? Do you call it a short? Do you call it a video?
I was reading.
No. I was reading. I read an article.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if it's
I
like
read a scientific
video
paper.
type of thing?
Oh yeah, I was reading.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like it adds legitimacy. And
It
also,
does.
like, we've talked about this at length. Zach, you and I don't read, but
Yeah.
we listen to audiobooks.
Yes.
If you tell somebody I was listening to this guy talk about this versus I was reading a book and they were discussing this, I was reading a book has 5x the legitimacy of it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
100%.
if you say, I was reading a book where this dog just kept sneezing and it was the funniest thing I'd ever read, it doesn't,
Oh,
it doesn't
okay,
carry
okay.
the same weight.
That would say I saw a video of a dog sneezing, and you're
Oh,
like,
okay.
"Oh, that's comedy." But if I'm trying to convey some sort of important information,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
reading.
Oh,
Yeah.
but my point was more so you don't specify where you saw it at. It's just I saw a video online or whatever.
Yeah.
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 Depends who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I have
I feel
one
like in
friend who's
general,
like,
most people don't care.
yeah, I have one friend who's like he won't download TikTok. So I just spam him constantly with TikTok videos. Like, this is the funniest thing. Oh, you got to see this.
Just to piss them off.
Just to piss him off. I try to FOMO him so much. Like, this video will change your life. Can't
What I
believe this
think is
happened.
funny is we all know that when somebody sends us, by and large, when somebody sends us a link to a video, I'm not watching it, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
I hate getting
rare.
links to videos.
However,
It depends on the person.
yes.
True.
But why do we continue to send each other videos when we all know that when other people send us videos, we're not watching it? Do we think
you're
we're
hoping-
the exception?
You're hoping you're the exception. You're hoping you're that funny friend that they trust to send them a video, or informative friend that
True.
they trust to send you a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so my hockey team's got a group chat, and I know my buddy Tim from the hockey team listens to this. Tim, you know the one guy in our hockey group chat that sends several TikTok videos every single day, and no one ever watches them. But he continues to do it.
I feel like there's almost for some guys, if nobody responds, like, oh, you didn't watch my first video? I'm going to
Just
send
another
5
one.
more.
Yeah.
You know, there's some vindictive developer out there for like Apple or Google or whatever that's going to write in code so that not only do you know whenever somebody read your message, you're going to know if they watched the video that they sent you as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh wait, okay. Maybe this already exists, but that needs to exist. Okay, hear me out. You send out a group message. Hey, when do you guys want to get together for dinner? That opens up a whole shitstorm, right?
Yeah.
They need to have some cohesive way that people can respond that basically becomes this like calendar scenario where
Yeah.
you see the overlap in people's calendars and it looks like,
Yeah.
oh, you added Deric, Zach, Scott, Suman, and
Sounds like a
John.
party.
Yeah. It appears Thursday at 6 p.m. is the best for everybody. Does that all work for everybody? Like almost like an AI assistant.
See, I truly believe something like that could exist, but it would be absolutely handicapped by Android and Apple, like in a pissing match. Like, we won't share
Oh,
our
and
calendar
Windows.
with you.
Yeah.
The people that still
Yeah.
use Outlook.
Yeah, exactly. If we were all on the same platform, you could totally do that, but the companies would never allow it.
And it would 100% rely on people's phone calendars to be accurate.
Yeah.
Which mine is not.
And be willing to share it publicly. Like some people probably wouldn't
True.
wanna have that information shared.
Yeah.
True.
But I don't know. Hey,
Well-
you know what we are doing publicly tonight?
The guy's gonna say, "Hey, you know what is on our calendar tonight?"
That was good. Well, hold on, let's rewind.
Yeah, okay. Hey, you know what is on our public calendar tonight? I tried to combine the two.
BYOC?
BYOC, baby.
Oh, so I leave my pants on? Okay.
Keep them on. Yeah, so tonight we're going to head over to, well, I guess another version of StreamYard for
Mhm.
all of our top tier patrons. We're doing the BYOC Bring Your Own Camera Live Hangout chat. So we get to hang out with those folks, get to talk about whatever they want to talk about, discuss
Mhm.
anything. And as a reminder, we did change revamp and simplify our Patreon offering. So if you want to get
For sure.
access to the bonus show that we do every week, except the weeks that we do the live hangout call, unlock tons of other perks, and maybe join the BYOC call, head over to patreon.com/offthecut-podcast. But if you don't want to, that's cool too.
But seriously, if you checked once before and you're like, these tiers are too complicated for me, go check again. It's much more simple.
We didn't get rid of anything. We just
it's all there.
Boiled it down to just 2.
Yeah. Do you want the really the bonus shows where it's at, especially the past?
Everybody gets that.
It's been longer than the main show.
Pretty common occurrence. Pretty common occurrence.
It is. All right. Well, we're going to end it here tonight. Everybody have a fantastic beginning of March, and we'll see you next week or at the BYOC call tonight.
See you, everybody.
See ya. I want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons: Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey, Josh at Sawdust Bills, Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop, Goblin Spanker.
You can't say that anymore.
And Dadu's debit card did work.
Bingo bango, you're done.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I followed you.
Almost passed out there. Almost passed out. All right, I'm gonna grab a wall. Oh, did we? I just realized I didn't send the thing out on Patreon. Son of a bitch.
The link.
I sent it out for BYOC.
Oh, dude, you're the man.
It went out at 6. I set that up every time.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, because when I set up the studios, I just go ahead and set up the Patreon thing to go out for all of it.
Very smart.
Hell yeah, brother. You're the man.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, live stream. We're going to go to the BYOC. I got to grab a seltzer and get this bad boy rolling.
Let's do it.